So what we're looking at here is a Dr Mower. I don't know much about this thing other than the fact that I can't wait to have it running. This would be great for a few things I have in mind. One being clearing a bunch of trails in the woods. And this ought to do it. It's got a Kawasaki engine in it. I don't know how powerful it is. I need to figure out that. But I'm just going to assume that it's probably going to be pretty powerful for this thing. It's got pretty good tires on it. It just needs the general stuff you do after sitting for a while. It's not that bad, actually. I'm about to wash it off. There's a little bit of garbage on it. The controls. A few things I like about this. One, it has reverse, which I love in a mower anyway, but certainly it's something this big. It's got 4 forward gears, so this ain't no toy. This is serious here. You got that. You can actually control the throttle, which I like, and you can actually engage and disengage the blades. That's engaged. That's disengaged, and it looks like someone's already been doing what I would do, and that's disable all the safety sensors. But yeah, and this thing has a differential lock. So this probably won't be that much of a revival because it's a Kawasaki engine. You just put gas in it and it starts. That's kind of how they work. But I'd still like to make a video about this because I can't really find many videos about this in particular model. It seems to be somewhat rare. So, yeah. That's why I'm making a video about it. Just went down to O'Reilly's and picked up a battery. Since the old one was so bad, their tester kept telling them that it was hooked up wrong. So I'll get that put in and see if it'll crank. Alright. I got some goat juice, but let's crank it for a second or two longer. Just see how it sounds. If it fires, then I'll work on the fuel system. Very good. Alright. Go juice. That's a heck of a thing, man. Alright, we'll fire. Let's try this again. Jeez, let me get a straw. Okay, well I can't find the straw. But, see if I can at least get it in there. Okay, that should be good enough. Let's try it now. Ooh, that thing stank. Holy cow. Okay, I'm gonna back up because that thing just filled the whole place with smoke. Woo-hoo! It made some noise. Alright, so I got some fuel in it, and I've also got the air filter cleaned out now, completely. Let's see if it'll pump fuel. I don't know if I have enough gas in there to pump, but I should. But we'll find out. Alright, we got fuel. Plug this back in, and maybe, being a Kawasaki, the carburetor's good and doesn't need any work. Or at least is good enough to run. Alright, here we go. Let me move everything out of the way. First start attempt. Here we go. So do I want idle? Do I want run or choke? Interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna put it on idle. Okay. Maybe just ain't cooling its own fuel yet. Ugh, come on. Most interesting air cleaner to do that with ever. Here we go. Smoke. Got plenty of that. Okay. Put it on choke. Because I'm being choked. Evacuate the area. It ran. Y'all probably noticed, but it's dumping fuel out of a hose. I don't know what that hose is supposed to connect to, but I'll connect that to whatever it's supposed to be connected to, and it'll probably run a little bit better. It did run without choke for a second at least. I bet that hose has got something to do with it though. But that's promising. So, yeah. This thing must have a lot of oil in the cylinder though. Like, wow. I don't think it has too much oil in it. It did seem to stop smoking. But anyways. Hey, let me see if I can find out what this hose is supposed to be connected to. Also, it's leaking fuel back there, so fuel doesn't need to be replaced. That's not surprising. Where is this supposed to go? I'll be right back. It won't idle. I think because it's flooding, actually. So... Alright, so I just took the bowl off, thinking it might be a problem in there with the float. And, well, I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. Here's the screw that holds it on. That's pretty bad. You literally can't even see that mixture screw down there. And as for in the bowl, yeah. And the float barely moves. It's like really stiff. At least at first. Now it's freed up a little bit now that I've played with it some, but yeah, I think this carburetor needs a full rebuild, but I ain't doing that right now. I just want to see this thing run a little bit better. But I'm beginning to wonder if this pipe isn't actually at fault. It's just this, which is our problem. Float not working right. So, let's let brake parts cleaner do its thing. So now the carburetor is cleaned. we'll see if this works any better. Also, let me put a little more gas in it because it kind of ran out. That's why it stopped. But now that I've removed, like, I mean, I destroyed a screwdriver. It's permanently stained brown from removing all that crud. Let's see if it is any better. I expect it to be. Maybe not much, but a little bit. All right. Also, this is plumbed into a bucket, and I also replaced that line. So, if you're wondering why that is the way it is, that is why. I doubt the gaskets are going to seal anymore because, well, I didn't even remove the carburetor. I just sprayed through the jets with some brake parts cleaner. So the gaskets are probably ruined, but I don't care if it leaks right now. I just want to see it run better. Keys. Alright. Place your bets. That is better. Well, that's just a Kawasaki engine for you. They don't care, they just run. It's a real shame John Deere and a lot of companies stopped using them. So it's been a week. Not much has changed since you last saw it. I did go ahead and put a new fuel line on and redid that grommet thing in the tank. The old fuel line started to leak. I forgot to snug this back up, so that worked its way loose, so I need to get a new nut for that. And I also replaced that section right there because that was full of cracks and probably wasn't working the greatest. And the belt disintegrated. I've been using it a little bit. You see, I actually cut it off. I just saw that it was in this kind of shape. This is the original belt to this 25-year-old machine, so I'm amazed that it's even in that good condition. That good of a condition, or however you'd say it. But the maintenance kit has finally arrived. Got an air filter, oil filter, spark plug. So it's finally time to service this machine. I haven't serviced it yet because, well, the oil still looks brand new. But let's service it now. The new belt will be here tomorrow. But these tires have been leaking, so I keep having to air them up. So I'll do the old tire slime. And then we'll be back in business. Go ahead and pull the spark plug boot off. We don't want there to be any chance that it starts while we're changing the oil. There we go. Now let's slide our drum pan over here. I've already run this machine and got it good and hot at full operating temperature for at least 30 minutes. So that's broken. That got the oil to kind of break down a little bit. So now we can change it. And then of course I just warmed it up a little bit. You can never change the oil on any engine. 30 years old or brand new, when it's cold, you have to let it run for a minute or two first. And if it's sat for a long time, like this one, no matter how good it looks, you're probably going to want to warm it up. Get it at full operating temperature, then you can change it. And then let it cool off, and then heat it up for at least a minute again. See, despite what the dipstick said, that's still pretty black. So yeah, definitely good to change that. Despite the fact that the dipstick says perfectly clear, like this, I'm not sure how you can see that. It looks brand new, it's still black. So, always good to change it. Because the dipstick never really tells the full story. Just remember that. It's time to add some oil. Got a new filter on. Drained all the old oil, obviously. Only spilled about half of it. Now it's time to get some fresh oil into here. If I can get this cap off. I'll just dump a quart in and see where we're at. Just right at that mark. I don't know how much it's going to take, but I reckon about a quart and a half, maybe two. Okay, a little bit more and then we'll see where we're at. Alright, let's check the dipstick. Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. Let me spin it over a little bit, get a little something into that filter, and we'll try it again. We'll see where we're at. Spark plug's disconnected though, so it's not going to fire. I don't want it to fire yet. I just want to get a little something to that filter. Okay. something in that filter. See where we're at. It's always interesting trying to get the reading, because the whole thing is just full of oil. The whole dipstick tube. Okay, it's just above the add mark. So I want to get it ever so slightly over the full mark, because that filter is never going to be primed until you get it started. So yeah, we'll get it started. Fill it up to the full mark. Then I'll start it after I do my little part of a carb clean. And then we'll check again. There we go. That'll do it. It's probably going to need more, but yeah, that'll do for now. Alright, now let's work on the carburetor. Alright, oil is changed, carb is cleaned, new air filter. Let's see how it runs. It's going to have to fill up the carb bowl, so the first few seconds it's going to run rough. But after that it'll smooth out. There we go. Check the oil again. The oil's good. The oil is still at a good level, or we'll make sure the oil is still at the full mark. It's probably not going to be because it has to fill up the filter. But that ran really good. That was pretty good improvement. So, carburetor is 100% perfect now. I even threw some new gaskets in it. So, yeah, just make sure the oil is still at a safe level. Then I'll slime the tires, green slime, stop it from leaking. Then I'll drive it around. And then tomorrow, the belt will be here. And then we'll go clear some trails. Alright, so I've just been tightening up a few loose ends. I got another nut on here. Secured that. I put this on here, just make sure that cannot contact that. I've cleaned up where I made a mess of oil here, and it's still not leaking, so that's good. Obviously there's a new air filter on it. Had to top off the oil, but that's not surprising. I've also put green slime in the tires, and it seems to be working. I'll know by tomorrow if it's gonna work or not. The belt I ordered was too long still, so now I've ordered a third belt, and that belt fit. So finally I have a good deck belt, and this machine is pretty much complete. Let's take it and finally use it. let's get to clearing. So, I think that's pretty good. So, I'm going to keep at it, but that concludes this video. How many stars would I give this? I'd say 5. That's really good. I need to build a better bridge, though. I'll tell you that much. It ran fine, and then it didn't. So this is the trail that was cleared, and after letting the brush mower sit overnight, I went to start it up again, and it magically ran fine again, so I don't know why, but that's fine by me. So, it's a couple months later, and it's still working good. Still give it 5 stars. This is a pretty fine example of what this brush mower does. I'm in a trail that I cleared off camera, and it just mangled this thing. That's what it does. Here's the area that I cleared. It just ripped this out of the ground. You believe that? I can, it's just I'm not used to hitting something like this with a mower and it doing that much damage to it. Makes you wonder what in the world goes on underneath here. I'll see y'all guys next time.